the geological wonder of Phang-Nga Bay. Located in the Andaman Sea in southern Thailand, surrounded by towering limestone cliffs and a vast river network, Phang-Nga Bay is protected from the rough waters of the open sea, making it the perfect destination for an adventurous tour. A tour is exactly what we did. From the startling rock formations that jet vertically out of the water to a floating village founded around 250 years ago by people all the way from Indonesia, this went down as one of the most beautiful tours we've ever done. Phang-Nga Bay was already a famous destination for locals, but Hollywood brought in a massive number of overseas tourists. A key highlight of the tour is the famous Koh Panyee, also known as James Bond Island, from the 1974 film The Man with the Golden Gun. Our favorite spot on the entire tour was definitely Koh Panyee, the floating village. Let's begin our tour with an 8 a.m. pickup from our hotel in Phuket. The van is just about to pick us up from our resort, and we are so excited to be on our way to see this beautiful bay.
Yeah, so this is one of the top excursions that you can do right here in Phuket. And because we're staying towards the northern part of Phuket, actually north of the airport, so quite far from the town, one of the best things that we can do is go head up Phang-Nga Bay, something like that, and go see the world famous James Bond Island. Yeah, the van already called for us a little while ago, so let's go and meet the rest of the group.
I think we're the first to be picked up. Oh. I guess that's the one thing about me and Macau, is even though the bay is actually in the north, we have to go south to here, and that's what we're doing right now.
This is actually pretty wild. So we just got to the marina, and honestly this marina is gorgeous. You have these palm trees just lining the driveways to come in. So right now we're at the lounge waiting to board our boat, and you can see from the lounge here they have a full-on breakfast and probably one of the nicest coffee machines. I'm actually really impressed so far with this tour. I'm really excited to hop on the boat and catch some beautiful views.
Our very first stop is Hong Island. Hong actually means room because the rock formation actually creates this whole lagoon, and the only way to get there is by canoe. So we're actually on this little floaty canoe right now, but we're not kayaking or paddling ourselves. We actually have a paddle man right behind us to get us through because it's going to be a little bit narrow. We're really excited. It's actually really peaceful to be able to just lie down and not have to worry about moving the boat ourselves.
One of the main reasons that you actually have a paddleman is because out in the open, you're free to canoe by yourself. But getting into the middle of Hon Island is actually extremely tight. It is very narrow. That little gap right, oh, which way? That way? Right over there. So because of that, you do need a paddleman because they know how to maneuver a lot better than you can. And it's a lot of sharp rocks that you do have to watch out for.
We made it to our second stop, and this is the main attraction of this entire tour, James Bond Island. You can see behind me a lot of people, super touristy. It's still really cool to be able to come up close to one of the most famous rock formations in all of Thailand. This one right here. That right there is known from the James Bond movie, The Man with the Golden Gun, I believe. And there's also a really cool rock formation called the Khao Phing Kan, which means leaning rock or leaning mountain, that we got to see. It's nice to be able to dip our feet into the water here in the bay, be able to see these incredibly iconic rocks, even though it is super touristy.
It's actually hilarious because everyone here is posing almost exactly the same way. They're doing like that James gun kind of thing. They're doing this, or they're doing the one where they put their hand like this to hold. Oh, here's the rock.
Yeah.
Or they're literally like this. It's absolutely hilarious. But I mean, hey, they're all having fun. And honestly, yeah, it's really beautiful here, minus the crazy amount of people.
So what happens when you're rushing to get on the boat? Yeah. What do you have to say for yourself?
So yeah, the boat was supposed to leave at 1, so we're rushing a little bit. So I was hopping over these rocks and then suddenly slip because of my flip-flops, and then now I got this deep cut. But should be okay. It doesn't hurt too bad though. So we made it to our third stop here on Panyee Island, and this is actually a really beautiful island, and it's really cool is that the original people who came over here were actually fully from Indonesia. They're 100% Muslim here, and this is actually our lunch stop. It's honestly really beautiful the way the architecture looks. It's so calm here. Can't wait to explore more of this little floating city. This is actually such a nice bread. Not only that, but the way the restaurant is actually designed. So we got a little fried chicken, we got pad thai, we got curries, rice. Of course, everything is halal. And there's an entire dedicated section to vegetarian. I think that's the first time we've gone to one of these tours where they actually have a legitimate booth set up only for veggies.
And it's like half of the whole buffet spread actually is just vegetarian. Quite amazing over here on Panyee Island. They actually have so many restaurants on stilts. We were dining at the New Fern, but they have so many more that I didn't expect. And I'm just walking around here while Jason flies the drone, kind of peeping into the little streets. It kind of feels like a Venice of Thailand. Now, being able to walk through those streets, you get to check out the different markets. There are a lot of locals selling all these different goods, souvenirs, and even pearls. I'm gonna keep walking around and see what I can find.
Yeah, that's how you look.
See how it is. I actually was like, who is that?
I look way better than she does right now.
Okay.
Okay, next spot right after our lunch is we are now at Phuket Island, and we're gonna do some caving. So we actually have to wear these very stylish hard hats because apparently you could really hit your head. It's quite tight. I couldn't even bring the backpack with me. But yeah, hopefully we get to see something really cool. There's something about a lagoon
think so. And we'll be seeing some stalactites in there.
What is that?
We're supposed to not touch them, but it's like when the rocks are super shiny.
Yeah.
Ooh, very tempted to touch, but we can't touch. Okay, let's go see this cave. It's honestly pitch black in here. So usually we've been to a few caves by now, and almost always they got some lighting in there, but here you actually have to use the flashlight from your phone to see where you're going, as well as shine it against the rocks where you can actually see everything. Honestly, this is a pretty popular spot, so I'm really surprised they didn't install any lights.
We're at our 5th stop right now, Naka Island. It's our final stop. Also the place that we're going to be spending the most time, about an hour and 20 minutes before we head back on the boat.
So normally on this tour specifically, we're supposed to go to the island called Yao Island. But apparently there's a lot of seaweed there, so they took us here to Naka Island. And our guide specifically said that Naka Island is more beautiful. But I do have the feeling he's just saying that because we're not able to go to Yao Island. But honestly though, really relaxing, ton of people. It's really cool. They have like these swings right here set up for photos. They have, I think, bar back there, as well as chairs that you can rent for about 50 baht. They have parasailing, they have jet skis. I saw some people riding a banana boat, you know, where you sit on the banana and they sort of take you on the jet ski. So yeah, honestly, there's quite a bit to do here. Not a bad place to finish off this tour. Walking around, I noticed these signs that says Panyee Beach. But it turns out this part of Naka Island is actually called Panyee Beach. I think this is one of the few public beaches that are quite accessible by boat, hence why pretty much everybody is here. We got about 15 or so minutes left, and honestly it's a good sign, because if you see right down there through the horizon, there's a ton of storm clouds coming in. It's probably gonna pour and lightning and thunder, all of that. So it's perfect timing. We're gonna chill here for the last little bit. Lauren is just absolutely lounging, just relaxing, and yeah, honestly, what a great day this has been. Weather has held up perfectly until the moment we head back to Phuket.